Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then welcome. My name is Pompberry, and today I'm going to be doing a super simple look because you guys requested it. In my last video, I did a tattoo cover-up, and the comment that I got the most was, "How did you do this look? Can you please show us how to do this look?" And many variations of this type of comment. Honestly, it was super simple. I didn't do any eye makeup except for a little bit of highlight in the inner corner, and it was just a lot of focus on the skin. So I'm going to be doing that today, but I think I will be doing a little bit of eye makeup because I've got some new products that I want to play with. But I'm going to show you the complete look, and then once that's finished, I'm going to move on to the addition of the new products on the eyes. So today's going to be very simple, very quick, but you guys asked for this, so please don't let it flop. So I'm going to jump straight into it, but before I begin, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I just got out of the shower, so my hair is very much like not styled yet. It's still drying, it's still wet, but my face is clean. Obviously, I just put on the Kinship Marshmallow Moisturizer, and now I'm going to move on to primer. And last time that I did a look, I tried this primer. It's the Tula Skincare Face Filter Blurring and Moisturizing Primer, but I hadn't noticed something about it, and I only noticed it when I did my makeup for the tattoo video. And I remember that I used this primer because I was talking to my mom while I did my makeup for that video. I was Skyping with my mom, and so, okay, the primer comes out like this. It's just like a nondescript color. And then when you start blending it out, it turns red. And I thought that was just my skin, but no, that's literally the primer turning red. And so I was talking to my mom and I was applying this primer and I was like, wait, what is happening? And on the back of the primer, it says that you have to massage it thoroughly to release its special encapsulated skin blurring pigments. So it's meant to make your skin look red. I'm not sure why. I think it's to make you look a little bit more bronzed, is what I could gather. And then that also kind of helps evening things out. But anyway, in the end, I actually don't hate it. Like, it looks good on the skin. It's just kind of shocking at first when your whole face is turning red, but that's how I distinctly remember that I did use this primer. And then I went in with the Kimchi Chic The Most Concealer in the color Peach Fuzz. This is a peach color corrector. I just use this right under my eyes for a little bit of brightening to combat those dark circles. Usually I use yellow. I love the yellow from this brand, and I'll be using it for my pimples because my skin is going through it right now. It was doing so good. Like, so good. I had not a single pimple, and I don't remember the last time my skin was that good. And then all of a sudden it was just like, haha, you thought your skin was gonna stay like this. So anyway, I just like to blend it out with my fingers. And then I'm gonna take the yellow one. It's just called yellow. I'm not a fan of pale yellow color correctors. I like straight up yellow color correctors, and I'm just gonna use that on my pimples. I don't like using green because I think it's hard to blend it into the skin and make it look natural. I have a warm undertone, so yellow works really well with my skin in particular. That's why I like using yellow instead of green for color correcting certain things, even though it technically isn't the right one. But I find that it works for me, and it's what I use on most clients as well. Once the color correcting is done, I'm going in with the Urban Decay Stay Naked Hydromaniac Tinted Glow Hydrator, medium coverage, up to 24-hour wear. And I've tried this a few times, and I've been really liking it. My color is 30 Light. I saw a lot of people complaining about the shade range, but this isn't like a full coverage foundation. This is supposed to be like a skin tint, and so you can use one shade for various different skin tones. It's the same thing with like the It Cosmetics CC cream. I carry those in my professional kit, and I find that they're really versatile. I haven't tried other colors of this one, but I've heard that they're quite similar. And they do feel quite similar and look quite similar on the skin. And so I find that even though there aren't a lot of shades, you can use like one shade for a lot of different people. When it comes to something like a skin tint, you don't need to have like 50 different shades. That's more for foundations that are heavier in coverage. And I'm just adding more where I feel like I need a tiny more coverage. I am gonna go in with concealer after as well, but I just dotted a little bit on my face because this type of look, less is more. In my like day-to-day, I don't like to wear a lot of makeup, and this look is something that I would do if I had to like go out and I just wanted to, you know, throw a little bit of makeup on. I hardly ever use heavy foundations when I'm doing my makeup for like day to day. I always try to use something like this that's like a tint, because it just feels more comfortable on the skin and it just looks better. It looks like skin, doesn't look like you're wearing a ton of makeup. Now once that's done, you can see that it gives a really nice glow to the skin and it's got a really natural finish. It just kind of evens everything out, but you can tell that it doesn't conceal things. Like I have to go in with concealer now, and as always, I'm using the Milk Makeup Flex Concealer, favorite concealer of all time, and I'm using the color light medium. I'm just gonna go in and conceal my little blemishes here and there. And then I'm also going to conceal under my eyes. And I generally just apply concealer right here in the inner corner. And that's pretty much it. And then I always like to tap to blend it out using my finger. When I'm doing my own makeup, I use my finger a lot, especially for something like concealer. Oh, and I'm also going to do around my nose because I've got a little bit of redness. I try not to tap too much, just enough to diffuse that little blob, but I obviously still want the coverage, so I don't want to tap it away into oblivion. Like I still want that coverage, so I try to tap very little, just enough to blend out the edges, and that's it. And I personally, I don't use a lighter concealer under the eyes. I just use the same one that I use to conceal everything else. I like using a concealer that matches my skin tone. I just think it's easier and it looks more natural that way. Once the concealer is done, I like to set it straight away because I do crease a lot under my eyes. So I'm going to take the new Tatcha, the Silk Powder. I've been really liking this powder, and see, I've already creased. Just got to make sure there's no creases. And then I'm going to take a little bit on a brush and just very gently pat that on. Oh god, I just ate powder. And then I also bring it down beside the nose just because that's where I'm the oiliest. So I do kind of like an upside down L shape. And then, oh god, this powder is so fine that it can get in the air and then I end up eating it. I'm also going to mattify my forehead, and I'll also do my eyelids, and that's it. I want it to remain very glowy. I don't want to put any on my cheeks. I want to keep the glow that's there. And the first time I tried this powder, I said in the video like, oh, I'm so happy that Tatcha is venturing into makeup now. I hope they do more. And then someone reminded me in the comments that they have had lipstick for so long, and I can't believe I forgot that. So Tatcha has done makeup before. I don't know why I forgot about it, but anyway. Now I'm moving on to my favorite part, and that's the cream blush. And I got a lot of comments on it. Everyone was like, what are you wearing on your cheeks? It looks so fresh. It looks so pretty. And it's the Melt Cali Dream Cream Blush Light. This color is so pretty. It's a lot lighter than I would normally go for. Like I typically wouldn't reach for color like this. I would typically go for something like Sandy Cheeks. It's kind of the same color, but a little bit darker. But I decided to give it a try that day, and I was not disappointed. So going in straight with my finger, and see, it looks a little light, a little scary when you put it on, but then you blend it out and it is just so pretty. And I like to blend it out again with my finger, just tapping, lots of tapping. I don't like to smear because I don't want to move anything that's underneath the blush. I don't want to disturb the foundation or the concealer. So always tapping. And once it's on, you can see that it just gives a really pretty flush to the cheek. And it just has this like super healthy glow. So yeah, sometimes it's worth trying out a color that you wouldn't normally go for. I do love peaches and like oranges for blush, but I wouldn't necessarily go for something this light, but sometimes it pays off to experiment a little bit. So this is it for the skin. I didn't do any contour that day. I wanted to keep it very fresh, very simple. This is typically what I would do in my day-to-day. Next, I'm going to do brows, and I used the Urban Decay Brow Blade in the color Cool Cookie, and normally I use the ink stain side to draw in the little strokes, but this time I used the waterproof pencil side to just very quickly and roughly fill it in. I find that if you're rushing to do your makeup, a pencil is always like the fastest way to do it, but drawing in the little strokes, it takes a little more time, and I just wanted to do my makeup kind of as quick as possible, and so I just went in with the pencil side, but still drawing in like little hair-like strokes, just not being super precise about it. And then I always make sure to give myself a little bit of an arch, so I always kind of like not overdraw, it's still within my eyebrow, but I always make sure to accentuate this arch right here, and you can tell what difference that makes. I didn't go outside of my eyebrow, it's still within the hairs, but just by accentuating that, it really helps to pronounce the shape of my brow. And then I always like to elongate the tail a little bit because I have pretty short brows. So I just bring it out a little bit and that's pretty much it. I just remembered I was going to try to film a TikTok for this look. But I forgot. I keep forgetting to make TikToks, and I really need to be more active on there. Now for lips, I use the Dose of Colors XOXO lip liner. This lip liner matches my natural lip color pretty well, but it is darker, and I did overdraw my lip a little bit. Not a ton. I still wanted to keep it pretty natural, so just going right where the lip line ends. Like you can still see my Cupid's bow. I'm not overdrawing over the Cupid's bow. The one thing I do like to overdraw though is the outer corners. It instantly makes your lips look 10 times bigger without being like a really obvious overdrawn lip. So just by extending that outer corner a little bit makes a huge difference. Then I just filled in the inner corners a little bit with the pencil. And I think I filled in the center of my bottom lip as well. Wow, my lips are so dry right now. I really should have prepped them with a lip balm, but anyway, so I did the middle, and then I went straight with a gloss. I know, who is she? Who's sitting right here in front of you? I don't know. I've never been the type of person to do lip liner and a gloss, but we're doing it today, and this is the Urban Decay Heat Lip Plumper in the color... I don't know what color this is. It just says Heat for glossy and fuller looking lips. It's this color right here. And I'm just gonna plop that on. But I sheared it out quite a bit. I just wanted like a light layer of this. And you can feel the tingly plumping sensation straight away. It's not bothersome. It doesn't hurt like the Too Faced one. The Too Faced one, I cannot wear it. It hurts me so much. I'm using a little lip brush to kind of blend the liner and the gloss together. I don't want to have like that harsh liner along the edges. Hey, then for eyes, I used a highlighter in the inner corner and I don't remember what I used. So today I'm going to be trying something different. I'm going to be using the Milk Makeup Color Chalk in the color Hopscotch. They sent me all their new color chalks and their new lip plumpers as well, which I was going to try today, but I wanted to show you guys exactly what I did last time. But I'm going to try this bad boy. I'm so curious about these color chalks. This feels very, very 90s to me, and I understand that the 90s are in fashion right now, but why? Why are you guys bringing back the 90s and the early 2000s? I don't get it. We just lived through it. Like, it just happened. It's too soon to bring it back. But this color chalk, it's basically like a block of pigment that you can use it for anything. You can use it for your eyes, your cheeks, your lips, anything. Your hair. Remember hair chalk? And it comes in this reusable carry tube, and then it's wrapped in foil that you can just rip as you go. Today I'm going to use it on a little brush. I want to feel it on my skin first though. I want to see what this is like. Okay, so it's like a block of pigment. I can't tell if it feels like waxy or anything. It doesn't really. It just kind of feels like an eyeshadow. So I'm just going to pop that on a little brush and use it on my inner corner. Just like that. And I'm using the Dose of Colors pencil brush. I love it because it's so tiny. Love it for the inner corner. And I think that's all I did on my eyes. I diffused it quite a bit so that it would look more natural. I often do this whenever I don't really feel like doing eye makeup, but I still want like a little pop. I just add a little bit of highlighter right there in the inner corner and really diffuse it out. And that's it. And then I went in with mascara. And that was the look done. And I don't remember what mascara I used that day, but I think it was the Pacifica Stellar Gaze mascara. So that's what I'm going to use today. And normally I would do mascara last because I'm going to do the eyes still. But as I said, I wanted to show you guys the full finished look. So I'm just going to pop on some mascara and that's it. That's the whole look. I told you guys it was super fast. It was super easy. This is generally what I do for my quote unquote normal makeup. It's very classic, very simple, very pretty, very flattering. You're basically just making yourself look rosy and healthy. And I have naturally long and curled lashes, so I don't use a lash curler, but feel free to use one. And I'm just gonna do like 2 coats of this mascara. I might do another one at the very end once I've done my eye makeup, just to get any eyeshadow off that might have stuck to the lashes. And I just concentrated the mascara on my outer corner because it just elongates the eyes a little bit. I really like the shape that it gives my eyes. And of course, added some on the bottom lash. If you don't have long lashes, I'd say feel free to put on a lash, maybe even use some individual lashes because they are a lot more natural looking, or pop on like a demi wispy. Those are my favorite go-to for just a natural lash look where it doesn't look like you're necessarily wearing lashes, but it definitely gives like a boost. I feel very lucky to have the lashes that I have. The ones on my left eye though, they're a lot shorter than the ones on my right eye, and I'm not quite sure why. It wasn't always like this, but it's a bit of a struggle over here. Okay, pro tip that I feel like no one ever talks about: if you get mascara on your skin, which everyone does, I do too, don't fear. Wait for it to dry. Do not try to clean off mascara while it's still wet. Wait for it to dry, grab a Q-tip, and then very gently get rid of it. And that's it. It's that easy. It comes right off. And you know why? Because mascara is not made for sticking to skin. It's made for sticking to hair. So if you just very gently wipe it off once it's dry, that's the most important part, it'll come right off. If you try to do it while it's wet, it's gonna smear. It's not gonna be good for anyone involved. And this is it. This is literally it. It's the look from that video done. Very simple, doesn't use a ton of products. You can do it in like 10 minutes and be out the door. However, this is a look that I would do in the days pre-pandemic because I would not recommend using this amount of cream and gloss under a mask. If you put a mask on this, it will transfer, it will rub off. Whenever I do have to wear makeup under a mask, I try to keep everything matte and then I seal it in with a setting spray, and I don't wear anything on my lips. But anywho, this is for when it will be finally over. Speaking of which, I just got my stabby stab, my second one, 2 days ago. My arm is a little bit bruised, you can see here, but luckily I did not have any side effects. If you follow me on Instagram, if you watch my stories, you'll have seen my journey, and I also kept it as a highlight because a lot of people asked me to save it because I've been sharing my experience throughout the process. I made sure to drink a ton of water before getting my second dose, and I didn't have any side effects. So it's been good. Now I'm going to play with some new products. This is the look you guys asked for. I've done it. Now I get to play around a little bit. And there's 3 products that I want to try. The first, I already tried a little bit of it in a previous video, but it's the Melt Mini Stack. I showed it to you guys. It is literally the cutest thing ever created. It's an eyeshadow stack in all recyclable packaging, and it is the teeniest, tiniest eyeshadow stack you will ever see. So great for traveling and all that. And I also want to try one of the new Rituel de Fille Ash and Ember eye soots in the color Garland. They just came out with these 2 colors. Garland is the pink and Nightfall is the blue, and they're donating 100% of net profits from the sales of these 2 to organizations that are helping the Asian American and Pacific Islander communities, which is amazing. So I wanted to highlight these 2 products today, and I want to try using this one as just like an overall base for my eyes, and then I'm going to use this in the crease and whatnot. So it's still going to be very natural, very simple, and very pretty along the lines of the rest of the makeup that I've done. So I'm going to grab the color Garland, and these are a lot less shiny than their other Ash and Ember eye soots. They're kind of like a satin finish. So I'm just taking this on a really like short and dense brush, and I'm applying it all over as like the base for my eye. But it's very, very subtle, and you can see it's a very delicate color. You can just pop this all over like this, and that could be your look done. Like super easy out the door. These eye soots are great for that, for just popping it all over the lid and calling it a day. They're a really interesting kind of like hybrid product. They are a cream, but they don't have a regular cream consistency. And Rituel de Fille's products, all of them are made using natural ingredients. So if I'm not mistaken, the eye soots are actually pigment suspended in like an oil. So it just has a really interesting texture to it. It's not like other cream shadows out there. Okay, and I'm quite happy with that base. It just gives a very soft pink flush. And I don't plan on using the blue one today, but I just wanted to show it to you guys eyes because they both launched together. And now I'm going to take the Melt Petite Stack and I'm just going to grab the first color and run that just through my crease to make sure everything is kind of set. This is a color that matches my skin tone, so I just like to use kind of like a base color to make sure I'll be able to blend everything really well, but I don't want to cover up the pink that's like on the lid or anything. Then the second color is a gold that I tried in my previous look, and I'm going to go in now with a third color and I'm going to run that through my crease. I'm going to start by just tapping it on the outer corner and blending it in. And this is just going to give a very subtle definition to my crease. I want to keep this very classic, very simple. And this is usually how I do my makeup on a day-to-day basis. I just use a neutral color along the crease, concentrating on the outer corner and kind of just elongating the eye. Because on me, this shape works really well. On you, it might be a rounder shape. It all depends on your eye and face shape. You can see it's very, very subtle, but that's what we're going for. I'm also gonna run this under my bottom lash line. Don't have to be super precise. If you have a darker skin tone, I would recommend just using something that's slightly darker than your own skin tone. I'm not going too intense with this, but if I wanted to, I could use one of the two last colors of the stack. I think I might add a tiny little bit of this guy just in my outer corner, just to further accentuate that outer corner and that shape. But again, being very, very delicate with this, making sure to blend it out really, really well. Then I can run also a little bit just on the outer corner of my bottom lash, not taking it all the way in, kind of stop at the center. And you can see that just adds a little more definition to the eye while still being pretty subtle. I kind of also want to take a little bit of the chalk that I used in the inner corner and just pop it right in the center of the lid, just to give a little extra something to the eye. I know that it hides the pink base a little bit, but I quite like adding a little pop. And I can also take that and run it along the brow bone, just keeping it pretty subtle. And you could end it here, or if you want to add like a little extra something, but you don't want to go in with an eyeliner because it can be too dark. What I like doing, and I do this a lot on clients, is taking a darker eyeshadow. I'm using the last one from the stack, and then I'm taking a flat angled brush, and I'm just going to take a little bit of that and just press that color right along the lash line, and I'm going to concentrate it on the outer corner and just kind of blend it out a little bit. You can give yourself like a tiny little wing if you want to. And I blend it out to like the center here of the lash line, and you'll see that it's very subtle, but it helps to accentuate the lash line. It gives more depth to the lash line, so it makes your lashes look fuller. And this is a great little detail, super quick to do. You saw how easy that was, and it just instantly kind of gives your makeup look a boost without you having to put on eyeliner or anything. Just very quickly stamp that on, blend the edges out towards the center, and boom. Now I'm just gonna do one last coat of mascara in case I got any eyeshadow on my lashes, and then we are good to go. And then you can see I've gotten oily around my nose already, so I'm just going to go ahead and just mattify that a little bit. And that's it. That's the look done. This had so many more steps than the initial look, but I wanted to show you a really easy eye that you could do with this skin since I did not do any eye makeup for that look. And this is the type of makeup that I do on most of my clients when I have to get them like camera ready. I do something that's very soft, very pretty, and just very subtle that just accentuates their features. But as you can see, makeup does not have to be complicated for it to be pretty. You don't need a ton of products. I used these products today, but by all means, use whatever you have at home. What matters most is the technique behind it, not necessarily the product that you're using. So I hope this video was helpful, even though the look was super simple, but hey, you guys asked for it, so I couldn't not do it. I just end up never doing looks that are simple like this because I think you guys are gonna think it's boring. I know you guys are used to seeing the really like crazy stuff from me, but let me know if you want to see more beauty looks like this from me. And also in the last video, a lot of you asked me to create a bruise tutorial using the alcohol paints, but I actually already have a bruise tutorial up on my Patreon where I teach how to create bruises with 3 different types of product: alcohol based, cream-based and eyeshadows, and I also teach bruises in different stages of healing. So if that's something that interests you, I highly recommend checking out the Patreon. There's a ton of other educational videos on there, so be sure to check it out if that's something that interests you. And that's it for today. I really hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you want to see more of this. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to all my patrons who support me, and I'll see you next time. Bye!